My name is Jenny Hall Jones, and I serve Ohio University as the Associate Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. Explaining my job is probably pretty hard, but my mom says to me, "Are you still attending classes? Like, do you still go to school at Ohio?" When I try to explain to her what I do. But for the most part, as the Dean of Students, the people in my office, we communicate with parents, we advocate for students, and we respond in instances of student crisis or emergencies. So that's how I would describe my Dean of Students responsibilities. As Associate Vice President for Student Affairs, I help lead and shape the Division of Student Affairs in the strategic mission and vision of what we do. I talk about the reputation of the party school and how really I could give all kinds of stats and reality that we are a healthy majority now at Ohio University. Most of our students are coming in with either not drinking habits or very low to moderate drinking habits. I could talk about the fact that in the last 15 years our high-risk drinking rate has gone down 20%, but it doesn't matter, because every time you say you're going to Ohio University, if it's within the state of Ohio, people will say, "Oh, it's that party school." And so I think that party school reputation, even though I don't think it's real necessarily, I don't think that we're the #1 party school in the nation, I think it still brings us down. And what I challenge students to do about that is to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Is that really what you're proud of? Are you proud of partying at Ohio University? Or are you proud of the relationships you've made, the connections you've made with faculty? Are you proud of what you've done here? Let's really think about that and showcase what we truly value. Because we know that there are some students who still choose Ohio University because they want to party here. Now my thought to that, and what I share with the first year students all the time with our stance on kind of a 2 strikes you're out policy, is that if you come with that mentality that you are your #1 job is to party here, you're not gonna last very long. Your #1 job at Ohio University is to be a student, is to get an education. Can you still have a good time every once in a while? Yes, you can, as long as you're appropriate and as long as you do it in low-risk ways. But you should be thinking, as a student, you should be coming here thinking, my #1 job is to get an education and to be a student, not to party. I've only been at Ohio University, so it's really hard for me to compare homecoming at different places. But from what I understand and what my colleagues tell me that work at other places, is that something special happens here at OU. And people love this place and they love coming back to this place. And so our alumni have a lot of pride. And so I think having all of these Bobcats who love this place so much come back one weekend a year to celebrate and lift up Ohio University is it's just wonderful. I'm happy to have been a part of it for all these years. It's a really hard question, but I think if I just dig deep and think about my personal struggle, it's when people want me to fix something that I can't fix. So if it's Jenny Hall Jones, what are you going to do to stop the drinking culture? Or Jenny Hall Jones, how are you going to eradicate sexual assault on our campus? I'm trying. I'm trying to do the best I can with all the resources that we can. But I feel like sometimes as a Dean of Students, people look to me as like the person that can solve everything. And I don't have powers, magical powers. And so I always say back to the students, what are you going to, this is our university, this is our culture, these are our issues. So what are we going to do? I will empower you, I will be there with you, but what are we going to do to solve said thing? So I think that's probably my biggest struggle, is when people ask me to fix or want me to try to fix like these really big issues that I feel hopeless trying to fix as well sometimes. College campuses should be the places where the free exchange of ideas is commonplace. It's what we do. When students graduate from college, they should be better thinkers, critical thinkers, than they were when they came here. And so when issues hit our campuses, and whether it's because of the national election or because of hate speech on a graffiti wall, this is the space where people should feel safe to ask questions and talk about it and try to figure it out. Now, I absolutely believe that there are phrases that we use that are hateful, and it can be considered hate speech. But I also know that we should be free to say them, and we should be free to have the dialogue to talk about it, and I believe in free speech. So I think what sometimes is hard is that there's a kind of a floor and a ceiling for how we look at hate speech versus free speech. The graffiti wall is a free expression space on our campus, and a lot of campuses have these kinds of spaces. And something could be put up on there that is incredibly hateful and not okay. And our values is our ceiling. Like, our values say this isn't okay. We shouldn't say these kinds of things. And let's talk about why we are saying them and what else is going on for us to have this kind of campus dialogue about it. But it's not the kind of the floor of hate speech, because hate speech needs to be directed at another person with a protected status. It's a very kind of narrow interpretation of the law, and I think the misunderstanding that sometimes happens on our campus and on other campuses is that that person should be punished who said that hateful thing. There's no way to punish a person to say that hateful thing if it's protected speech. So I think there's a lot of confusion about that on our campus, but the bigger picture is that we need to create a culture on campus where such hateful things aren't accepted, right? That we know and that we hold each other accountable, almost like we do with bystander intervention and the bystander intervention training. Like, if I hear something hateful toward another person, I should step up and say something. And we should create a culture where it's more about respecting each other and appreciating each other. So last year on campus, I was asked to take on the responsibility of being the Vice President for Student Affairs, as well as being the Dean of Students. And it was a really, really busy year for me, and I felt like I was not as connected with students as I normally would be. And so this year, with our new Vice President for Student Affairs, Jason Pina, on board, and he started work back in May, I was brainstorming a little bit over the summer what I wanted to do with some of the hours in my schedule. Like, okay, now I've got, say, a couple hours a week like freed up in my schedule that I didn't have last year. What do I want to do? Well, I was thinking I wanted to do something to just get out and about with the average everyday Bobcat that I wouldn't necessarily see in my office. And I was on Facebook one night and I was watching the Late Late Show, and I love carpool karaoke. I love it. So I love the Adele one, and I watched Michelle Obama, and I feel like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, there were a couple that were really, really good. And I was brainstorming with some of my colleagues. Actually, with the police is where I started. I saw Chief Powers, and I said, I have the best idea for you. You should do carpool karaoke with a cop. He was like, no, we're not going to do that. Like, you should ask. I'm sure a couple of your officers might want to do this. It would be really cool. He's like, I'll ask. But I had said it in front of a group of our student media interns, for the person who supervises them. And she ran with it. She went back to her group and was basically like, said to them, Jenny Hall Jones has this idea about doing carpool karaoke. Maybe we could do it in a golf cart or whatever. And before I knew it, like 3 weeks later, I got a link from them saying, we've set up your golf cart, we're ready to go. And I thought to myself, really? Like, we're really going to do this? But we did, and I've done 2 so far. I'm going to do another one tomorrow for homecoming week. And my plan, as long as the weather stays nice, is to try to go out at least once a week for an hour and roam around campus. One of the things that I ask for first year students to do during Bobcat student rotation, and it's overwhelming and they get a lot of information, is I basically say to them, Athens is a really special place. Not everybody gets to go to college, period. And certainly not everybody gets to go to college on a residential campus in a college town. So if you graduate 4 years from now and you don't experience Athens, you've never been to the farmer's market, you've never even gone beyond Athens and even into Hocking County and walked, or Old Man's Cave or any of the Hocking Hills trails, or you've never figured out why the passion flower is the official flower of Athens, Ohio. If you graduate and you don't know those things, you're missing out. And so I guess the question I would ask students is, what have you done lately to get to know Athens and to get to know the community? And how are you giving back to this wonderful place that is supporting you during your time here at Ohio? This is an interesting question for me because I didn't love Ohio University off the bat. When I first came as a student, I came from a really small town. I had a very small graduating class. So this was very big and overwhelming to me. Athens was bigger than my town where I grew up. And so I didn't find my friends and I didn't find my connections my entire first year. So all I did was go to class and go to my job in the library, and I wasn't really connected. I lived to go home. I didn't have the kind of Bobcat experience that we would hope every first year student would have. And then my sophomore year, I became an RA. And for me, that job, my RA job, was how I found my niche, and how I always explain it is I found my people here at Ohio University. And what I believe, and part of the reason why I love this place so much, is that everybody can find that here. You don't have to be a certain person or a certain mold to fit into Ohio University. You can truly be yourself, and you can find other people who will be in your friend group. Now sometimes it takes a while, like it took me a little longer, and it was because I wasn't putting myself out there, because I was a really shy, introverted first year student. But once I did, I found my place. And so I think that's probably the biggest reason why I love Ohio University, is you don't have to be somebody you're not to fit in here. You can be yourself and find your place here. And that's probably why I love it.